You've always believed intelligence would give you an advantage in life. From an early age, you were taught that being smart would open doors, solve problems, and create opportunities that other people could only dream about. You worked hard in school, followed the rules, earned good grades, and did everything successful people told you to do. You learned to believe that effort and intelligence would eventually lead to financial success. You invested in knowledge. You read books most people never open. You studied ideas, strategies, and concepts that promise to help you build a better future. You understand investing. You understand markets. You understand the principles that supposedly separate people who struggle financially from people who build wealth. You understand concepts like compound interest, long-term growth, and the power of consistent investment. On paper, you know exactly how wealth is supposed to be built. You understand budgeting. You understand planning. You understand how responsible financial decisions are supposed to create better outcomes over time. So answer this honestly. If knowledge is the answer, if intelligence is the advantage, then why do so many intelligent people remain financially stuck? Why are there people with less education, less knowledge, and fewer qualifications who seem to be doing significantly better financially than you? You probably know someone right now who earns more, owns more, and enjoys more financial freedom despite understanding far less about money than you do. And that's the uncomfortable question. Because if intelligence alone created wealth, the smartest people would always be the richest. But reality tells a very different story. Some of the most financially successful people you'll ever meet aren't intellectuals.
Perfect.
They don't spend hours studying economic theory, they don't obsess over every financial decision, and yet somehow they continue moving ahead. They build businesses, they make decisions, they take action. And while they're doing that, many highly intelligent people remain stuck in preparation mode. At first, that doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem logical. It feels like intelligence should automatically create better financial results. But what if intelligence isn't the advantage you've been taught to believe it is? What if intelligence becomes a liability when it's not paired with action? Before we continue, I want you to be honest. Have you ever looked at someone making more money than you and thought, I'm smarter than that person? If you have, comment trap below, because you're about to discover why that happens. What if the very traits that helped you succeed academically are quietly preventing you from succeeding financially? That's where this conversation begins. Most people assume they're struggling because they don't know enough. So naturally, they focus on acquiring more knowledge. They read another book. They watch another video. They search for another strategy, another framework, another piece of information. The assumption seems reasonable. If knowledge creates success, then more knowledge should create more success.
So they keep learning, they keep consuming, they keep preparing, and every new piece of information feels like another step forward.
But eventually something changes. Learning stops being preparation for action and quietly becomes a substitute for action itself. And that's where intelligent people often begin to get stuck. Something strange begins to happen when learning becomes your default response to every problem. Knowledge stops being a tool and slowly becomes a place to hide. You tell yourself you're preparing for the future, but in reality, preparation starts replacing action. The brain rewards planning, researching, and organizing. Every new insight feels productive, even when nothing changes in the real world. You feel busy. You feel responsible. You feel like you're making progress.
But your financial results remain exactly where they were 6 months ago, a year ago, maybe even 5 years ago.
Information creates the illusion of movement. It feels like you're advancing because your mind is constantly occupied. Action is different. Action creates consequences. Action creates feedback. Action creates results. A highly intelligent person can usually see every possible way something could go wrong.
They see risks other people miss. They spot flaws other people overlook. They anticipate problems before they happen.
And while they're busy evaluating every possibility, someone else has already started learning through experience.
Great job! Cheers to the team!
And that person isn't necessarily smarter than you. They don't have access to secret information, hidden opportunities, or some mysterious advantage that you're missing. They simply moved before they had all the answers. While others were waiting for certainty, they were already collecting experience. The stock market doesn't reward the person who understood investing the best. It doesn't pay extra for perfect analysis or endless research. It rewards the person who actually invested and stayed invested long enough for growth to happen. Knowledge without action becomes one of the most expensive habits a person can develop. Not because learning is bad, but because learning can become a very comfortable form of avoidance. How many books, courses, or podcasts have you consumed in the last year? And how many major financial actions did you actually take? Keep that number in your head.